Stellar Blade has a lot of greatness surrounding it, and today we're going to be talking about how censorship is not going to be a concern with the upcoming Stellar Blade this week, along with some comments that EA Japan's executive had to say about Stellar Blade getting a pass, whereas we didn't see Dead Space Remake get that same forgiveness. Now, before we jump in all of this, if you guys could do me a huge favor, like, subscribe if you're new, and share the video to keep this community growing. Now, let's talk about that Stellar Blade update. Stellar Blade offers the same uncensored versions in all countries, and this is including the Japan version. This comes straight from @StellarBlade over on Twitter or X. And this post comes after a lot of people had some concerns with PlayStation titles having some regional variations with the games. Sometimes they were censored, sometimes they had things removed, which I guess is the same as censorship, but there were alterations with other games. But Stellar Blade does not have that issue. You're going to get the same experience whether you buy this in Japan or whether you buy this in North America or the UK. It's all the same game, which is always good because that's the artistic vision that the devs had, and they are able to bring that forward and present the game that they had in their minds when they first built the title. So this is very positive. People were concerned about censorship with this game, and there is none. There will be zero censorship, which I applaud. I applaud all across the board because I love when devs are able to create the game that they truly want to make. Now, because of this, EA Japan's general manager had something to say. The general manager of EA Japan has criticized the Japanese ratings board for what he believes are discrepancies in the way Dead Space and Stellar Blade have been rated. If you don't know, Japanese games are rated by the Computer Entertainment Rating Organization, also known as the CERO, and can only be sold in Japan after they've been reviewed and rated. Think of like the ESRB for us, right? The ESRB has to rate these games before they can be sold, and that's just to protect the public, right? Make sure that they're not playing games that they're not suitable for at the given time of their age. Now, Stellar Blade has been passed for a CROD rating, which means it can't be purchased by players under 17 years of age unless they have parental consent. Think of an M rating, for example. And this has annoyed EA Japan's general manager, Sean Naguchi, who took to X to complain that CRO refused to give the Dead Space Remake a rating, effectively banning the console version in Japan over gore that he believes is similar to that in Stellar Blade. Now, keep in mind, this is after rumors of a Part 2 of Dead Space Remake being canceled. People are not happy about that, and on top of that, I imagine the devs that worked on the first remake are not too happy either, so that's probably why we're getting this kind of reaction as well, is because of the poor sales of Dead Space 1 Remake and it not getting its sequel that a lot of people do actually want. So the big thing here is that, the EA Japan GM seems to think that the dismemberment in Stellar Blade is comparable to that of in Dead Space Remake, and I kind of get where they're coming from on this. Obviously, you fight a lot of like monsters and demon type of things, so maybe it's not as serious as like fighting humans, for example, although there are monsters in Dead Space as well. But that moment with Taki in the demo where you see her arm come off and all types of gore and internal organs and everything that you're seeing are present in the demo as well. So I guess from EA's GM perspective, they're like, hey, this seems very apples to apples. I feel like there should have been a rating given of an M rating given pretty much for Dead Space Remake, and it should have been able to release in Japan, but it wasn't. So I can see both sides of this. I mean, obviously, there is a lot of resentment given that Dead Space Remake didn't sell as well as it could have, and obviously it not releasing in Japan didn't do them any favors either, so there is some sort of upset there. But regardless of all that, it seems that Stellar Blade is not going to be held back at all. It's going to be uncensored, it's going to release everywhere, and it's going to release in Japan, whereas Dead Space Remake didn't. So I did want to point that out. But outside of Dead Space's situation, Stellar Blade is looking very good, and it's coming this week. So soon we'll be talking about the game and how we feel about it. Obviously, a formal review will be coming as well. I have bought my own copy. It has not been offered to me, so you'll have to wait a little bit on that. More so on my thoughts than if you should buy the game. I definitely think you should go out and buy this game. The demo was fantastic. I think a lot of you, if you enjoyed the demo, you're probably going to enjoy the game game, so it won't really matter for a review to help you decide, but rather to share my opinions on the experience that I think is going to be exceptional in this case. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about Stellar Blade being uncensored, and also about the Dead Space remake not getting a release in Japan, whereas Stellar Blade with comparable gore is going to get a release in Japan. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and share the video to help grow this community. I thank you all for watching. Take care.